Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your JIS News for Friday, September 9. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government will be moving ahead with plans to develop the corridor from the Norman Manley Airport to New Kingston. The work will be done through the Urban Development Corporation.
Very important that when people come to Jamaica, the first thing they see are signs of development. The idea is to turn the port of Kingston Harbour, into a port of call for cruise shipping and tourism and home porting.
The Prime Minister was speaking on Thursday as he opened Carib Cement Company Sports Club and Wellness Centre for staff. Located at Harbourhead in Rockfort, the building is a National Heritage Site and was a former air base during World War II. It was renovated over 10 months at a cost of $800,000. Prime Minister Holness used the opening to pledge government's commitment to finding constructive ways of restoring historical buildings.
With all the other things that governments have to do, we have to make priorities. But we have to find a way to weave into those priorities how we take care of our national assets, our historical sites. And that is now exercising my mind as to how we can make some of these sites into attractions that can pay for themselves.
Government has received endorsement from the United States government for its plan to achieve developed country status by the year 2030. According to U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica, Louis Moreno, the foundation is already here for the country to have a fully developed economy that provides prosperity for all its citizens.
The foundation's already here, a well-integrated service sector, well-educated and industrious workforce, reducing the burden of security and corruption, which experts estimate eat up almost 20% of businesses' budgets, will unleash the capital for investment and higher wages.
He was speaking at a U.S.-Jamaica Bilateral Relations Forum held at the University of the West Indies on Wednesday. Prime Minister Andrew Holness was at the forum and said part of government's plan for development involved aligning foreign policy with economic interests. He stressed the need for U.S.-Jamaica relations to focus more heavily on the economic interests of both countries.
The relationship in the next 50 years, it has to be development. It has to be on growing our economy so that we can stand truly as independent citizens, which is really what equal citizenship means.
The Ministry of National Security has signed a memorandum of understanding with an international NGO to explore the greater use of combat sport to engage at-risk youth living in communities impacted by crime and violence. Portfolio Minister Robert Montague says the partnership with Fight for Peace International will support other measures for making Jamaica safer for citizens.
The Fight for Peace program practically addresses 3 of the 5 pillars of the national security strategy: crime prevention through social development, reducing reoffending, and effective policing. Its impact is already being felt in the correctional system through their work with our juvenile facilities.
The organization, which started in Rio, Brazil, has been active in Jamaica since 2014 and is currently operational in 7 inner-city communities.
We focus on combat sports because in our experience, those have been particularly effective in getting the young people that we need to reach the most. So we use the sports as a hook to bring them in while also exposing them to discipline, to teamwork, to an alternate family, to a new way of identifying themselves.
Government is setting up a $50 million fund to provide support for families of babies born with ZIKA-related microcephaly. The condition is characterized as an abnormal smallness of the head, which is associated with incomplete brain development. Minister of Health Dr. Christopher Tufton says the fund will be used to support interventions to help families cope with the condition.
This $50 million fund is just another in the series of initiatives that we are implementing in order to try and deal with this particular ailment. What we will certainly be doing is to give support in the early stages, assist the child in areas such as early stimulation, the mother in terms of counseling, medication, support.
The minister says the move is a proactive one and is based on data which have shown that between 2 and 12% of pregnant mothers who have had ZIKA are at a high risk for having a child with microcephaly. There have been 35 confirmed cases of pregnant women with the ZIKA virus and 501 suspected cases since January 2016. And finally, the national cleanup campaign aimed at ridding communities of mosquito breeding sites moves to Hanover this weekend. Local Government and Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie will lead a multi-agency team in a parish-wide cleanup exercise on Saturday. The goal is to remove bulky waste such as refrigerators, stoves, washing machines, sofas and other material. The local government ministry is spearheading the national task force established by the Prime Minister to address the island's state of cleanliness, particularly in light of the ZIKA virus and other mosquito-borne diseases. Cleanup activities have already been undertaken in St. James, Portland and St. Andrew. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thanks for watching.